Surprise, surprise, Dylan Raiola is going to be your starting quarterback at Nebraska this season. I say surprise, surprise because we all watched the spring game. We all looked at that and said, you know what, I may not be a scout. I may not be in the building at Nebraska, but number 15, to me, looks like the best quarterback. So what does it mean for Nebraska going forward? What does it mean for that quarterback room? What does it mean for what Nebraska can be in 2024? We'll unpack all those things. Before we get to that, though, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Nebraska, man, y'all have been as faithful as they come when it comes to the YouTube space. Y'all have been just hammering that subscribe button. We appreciate you so much for that. If you are just now finding this channel, you're a Nebraska fan, you're a college football fan, whatever kind of fan you are, I mean, you have a place here, all right? This is a college football sicko community, and we appreciate y'all being a part of it by subscribing. Also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JDPakel. So you might hear some of this with Dylan Raiola being named the starting quarterback in Lincoln. Yeah, but he's a freshman. Yeah, but he's only been on campus for spring practice. Like, yeah, but all of our eyes work. You know, everybody saw what he did in that spring game. I have a funny feeling that what we saw in that spring game was probably indicative of what he's doing behind closed doors during practice at Nebraska. I don't think that this was something where it was like, man, are we sure he's ready? Like, you play him because of what this offense now can be with him running the show. Because not to throw shade at anybody else in that quarterback room, anybody else on that offense. We know what Nebraska's offense is to a degree without Dylan Raiola in the lineup, right? Like, we know they will probably run the football really effectively. We know that they have some stable of backs that are going to be an asset for you. We know that they're going to be able to, move the chains that way. But, like, when you talk about the pass game, I think we also kind of know what that is. And not to just strictly define a Heinrich Haarberg or anyone else in that room. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm telling you, like, I think we have seen enough of that pass game to have a flavor for it. You add in Dylan Raiola, what can it be? What could it be with Dylan Raiola running the show? What impressed me from the spring game, which again was like the largest sample size I think we got to have of him, and I'm assuming and I'm sure Nebraska is hoping that he continues to improve from that spring game, it wasn't just the splash plays downfield. Like, you saw that and that fires you up. That's definitely a part of like the potential future for Nebraska is him being able to spin it on a dime and stretch the field and hit a guy in stride for a deep passing play. That excites you, that fires you up. But like, what I saw was him leading the offense. What I saw is him making good decisions. What I saw is him be content to throw the football away. Like, I see a lot of things about Dylan Raiola where I'm like, okay, if that's the jumping off point, if that's like the base of what we're going to get from him going forward that we're building from, we're going to be in really good shape. And also, it's worth noting, I think they have a lot of skill players on the perimeter now that are going to benefit him in this offense. The task for Dylan Raiola to be successful as a true freshman in the Big Ten Conference, to me, is pretty straightforward. Like, yes, do what you do. If there's a big play to be had, let's push the ball downfield, let's spin it, let's make some money that way, all right? I'm all about that. However, I think what they're going to ask Dylan Raiola to do this year is just be efficient. Just don't give the football to the other team, my man, and we're going to be in good shape. And Nebraska fans, I have to imagine, are like, yeah, if we just don't give it away, I mean, how many games did we win a season ago? Nebraska had a 6% interception rate last year. What that means is of all the snaps Nebraska had last season, 6% of them were interceptions. Now, that's not to point the finger at any one quarterback because they had a revolving door at that position last season. But the point remains the same. To have 5 games that you lost by 1 score and to have the interception numbers be what they are, if you just hang on to the football, how many games did Nebraska win last season? So if Dylan Raiola takes care of the football, then you add in the potential of what he can do pushing the ball downfield with that special arm talent. Like, what could he be? What could Nebraska be at the end of the season? One more thing I'll say here. 2 more things. The side note I want to make here is I think Heinrich Haarberg still has to have a role. Just because he's not your starting quarterback doesn't mean that he can't line up at quarterback for you for different packages. Also, with the athleticism he has, being like a 4.5 40 guy at that size, 6'4", 225, like, he's probably a guy that you need to factor in somehow, some way to the offense. Maybe he's playing some H-back. Maybe you figure out a way to involve him in the pass game. I don't know what it looks like, but I think he has to have a role because of his physical giftings. Let's make sure that's clear. The point that I was going to get to, though, is like, let's hold our opinion of Dylan Raiola a little bit loosely. I just told you all the reasons why he deserves to be the guy and why he is the right guy for Nebraska this season. But like, let's also understand that he's a true freshman. It's his second semester of college. What he is in week 1, you have to believe is going to be different than what he is in week 8. Like, he's going to progress. He's going to grow. He's going to figure some things out. Some things you're going to have to figure out the hard way. That's the reality and sometimes the advantage/disadvantage of playing as a true freshman. There's going to be some moments for him there where you're like, yep, he'll get that a little bit later in his college career. Yeah, he'll understand he can't make that throw all the time. He'll understand he has to throw it away at this position. So I'm not telling you there's going to be like a bunch of, substantial growing pains for him. I'm just saying it's fair to factor in the idea that he could have some growing pains. He could have some freshman moments because he's a true freshman. But I would also say, as he progresses, don't be shocked if the game plan in week 1 looks very different than the game plan in week 10 because of their confidence in Dylan Raiola. Like, I'd be very shocked if they did open it up a ton that first few weeks of the season. I think it'll be run the football, put the ball in the right spot when it comes to the pass game, don't give it away, as we've mentioned many times now during this segment, and we're going to be in good shape. But for Dylan Raiola, the arm talent is so great to where as he gets comfortable, that's the reason why you have playing. That's the reason why you make him your starting quarterback, is because of what he can do downfield. So as he gets comfortable, as he digests the game plan week in and week out, do not be surprised if it starts to expand and they cut him loose a little bit more as the season wears on. But again, Dylan Raiola, he's the guy. We all sort of had that gauge for it when we saw him play in the spring game. I think Nebraska is probably an 8-win football team, if not more so, with him as the guy, barring something wildly unforeseen with his decision-making. But Nebraska, you got your quarterback. There's cause for excitement. Right now, drink all the Kool-Aid you can because this is the time to do it. So, appreciate y'all being locked in. Again, make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter @JDPikel. We appreciate you so much in advance for that. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.